Two people join the same gym on the same day. One picks up running, the other picks up rowing. 6 months later, their bodies have changed in noticeably different ways. More muscle here, better endurance there, even though both train just as hard, just as often, for the same number of hours each week. The sport itself was quietly doing more of the work than either of them realized, and that's the idea behind today's list. Exercise scientists measure a workout's overall demand using something called a MET value, short for metabolic equivalent, which compares how much energy an activity burns against simply sitting still on a scale where light walking sits around 3 and elite-level rowing or sprinting can climb past 12. But calories are only part of the picture. The best sports for overall fitness stack 3 things on top of each other: a high, sustained calorie burn, real cardiovascular demand that trains your heart and lungs, and genuine strength or resistance work that builds and maintains muscle at the same time. Most sports are strong in one of those categories and weak in the other two. A pure cardio sport that barely touches your muscles, or a pure strength sport that barely raises your heart rate. Today's ranking looks for the sports that manage to hit all 3 at once, while still being realistic enough that an average adult could actually walk in and start this week. Number 10 is cycling. On flat ground, it's gentle on the joints, which is exactly why physical therapists recommend it during recovery from injury. But push the resistance or the hills, and it becomes a serious cardiovascular and leg strength workout fast. A sustained ride can burn several hundred calories an hour, rivaling jogging, while putting a fraction of the impact through your knees and ankles. It's also one of the easiest sports to fold into daily life, since commuting by bike turns transportation time directly into training time. Number 9 is running. It remains one of the most efficient calorie burners of any activity on this list, largely because it's weight-bearing. You're moving your entire body mass against gravity with every stride, which also makes it one of the most effective ways to build bone density over time. The trade-off is impact. Running places repeated stress through the joints, so building up mileage gradually and rotating in rest days matters more here than almost any other sport. Beyond the physical numbers, running requires literally no equipment beyond a decent pair of shoes, which is part of why it remains the default entry point into fitness for so many people. Number 8 is tennis and racket sports more broadly. What makes tennis stand out is the combination of short, explosive sprints, sudden direction changes, and constant upper body rotation, all packed into a single point that might last only a few seconds. That stop-start pattern trains a different kind of cardiovascular fitness than steady jogging does, closer to what exercise scientists call interval training, which research consistently links to strong improvements in heart health. It also demands coordination and reaction time in a way that solo cardio simply doesn't, keeping your nervous system, not just your muscles, actively engaged. Number 7 is basketball. Few sports pack this much movement variety into one session. Sprinting, jumping, sudden stops, lateral shuffling, and near constant upper body engagement from passing and shooting. A recreational game keeps your heart rate elevated for extended stretches while your legs absorb repeated jumping and landing forces that build real lower body power over time. It's also inherently social, and that matters more for fitness than people give it credit for, since sports played with other people consistently show higher long-term adherence than solo workouts in exercise research. Number 6 is soccer. Across a full match, players cover distances that rival a moderate distance run, but broken into constant bursts of sprinting, jogging, and walking, rather than one steady pace. A pattern researchers have found produces cardiovascular benefits similar to interval training. Add in the near-constant lower body strength demand from cutting, kicking, and changing direction, and soccer quietly delivers one of the most complete cardio and strength combinations of any team sport, all while requiring nothing more than a ball and open space to get started. Number 5 is functional strength training, the kind of varied, high-intensity circuit work popularized by programs like CrossFit. Unlike a running or cycling session, which primarily challenges your cardiovascular system, functional training deliberately combines heavy lifting, body weight movement, and short bursts of cardio in the same session, which is exactly the combination most likely to build both muscle and cardiovascular capacity simultaneously rather than one at the expense of the other. Research on high-intensity functional training consistently shows meaningful improvements in both strength and aerobic capacity within the same program, something steady-state cardio alone can't claim. Number 4 is rock climbing. It's one of the only sports on this list that seriously challenges grip strength, core stability, and problem-solving all at once, since every route is essentially a physical puzzle your body has to solve in real time. Climbing recruits your back, shoulders, forearms, and core far more intensely than most cardio-focused sports, while still elevating your heart rate enough to deliver a genuine cardiovascular benefit over a long session. It's also remarkably forgiving for different fitness levels, since a beginner and an expert can train on the same wall at completely different difficulties. Number 3 is boxing, along with kickboxing and similar combat-based training. Few sports on this list combine explosive, whole-body power output with sustained cardiovascular demand, quite like throwing combinations for 3-minute rounds. Every punch recruits your legs, hips, and core before it ever reaches your arms, which is why experienced boxers often carry more functional, total body strength than their arm size alone would suggest. The interval structure built into round-based training, hard effort followed by a short rest, mirrors exactly the kind of training protocol research links to some of the largest cardiovascular fitness gains of any exercise style. Number 2 is swimming. It's the rare sport that trains your entire body, arms, legs, back, and core against constant resistance while remaining almost completely impact-free on your joints, which is exactly why it's often the sport recommended to people recovering from injury or managing joint pain. Water resistance means every stroke doubles as strength work, not just cardio, and the horizontal position places unique demand on core stability that land-based cardio rarely matches. It's also one of the few sports where a beginner and a competitive athlete can train in the exact same pool at genuinely different intensities. And number 1, the sport that consistently tops exercise science rankings for overall physical demand? Rowing. A single rowing stroke recruits roughly 85% of your body's total muscle mass in one continuous, coordinated movement, legs driving first, then back, then arms, which is a muscle recruitment pattern almost no other single exercise can match. That full-body engagement is exactly why rowing produces cardiovascular demand and strength stimulus simultaneously, in the same movement, rather than requiring you to choose between a cardio day and a strength day. A hard 20-minute row can burn calories on par with running, while also loading the legs, back, and arms the way a weight session would. It's low impact enough for long-term joint health, since the seated, sliding motion removes the pounding that running or basketball puts through the knees, yet intense enough that elite rowers rank among the fittest athletes tested in any sport. By nearly every physiological measure exercise scientists track. None of these sports is secretly the one correct answer. Rowing tops the physiological charts, but a rowing machine gathering dust in a garage burns 0 calories and builds 0 muscle. What actually separates people who stay fit for years from people who quit after a few months is rarely the sport itself. It's whether they genuinely look forward to showing up. The physiological differences between rowing and running and swimming matter far less over a decade than simply choosing something you'll still be doing 5 years from now. A mediocre sport practiced consistently for years will always outperform a perfect one, abandoned after a month. Pick from this list based on what pulls you back for a second session, then a third, then a 100th, because that's the only fitness metric that actually compounds over time.